So the point being is the average person doesn't even have a clue that, the baby crawling on the carpet is absorbing, the outgassing chemicals from the carpet. So trying to educate people that, the levels are high is really a chore, and we're doing that, you certainly with your show, and me by writing these books, and you writing your books
Hmm.
about the what's in our environment, and again coming across as this is education. So the average person who becomes aware starts going to the health food store, starts trying to eat organically as much as possible in their foods. And the problem with that, I hear people all the time, well, it's too expensive, you know. But the point being is, tomatoes and apples and strawberries and certain things, you've got to try to get them organic if you
Right.
want to reduce your toxic
C-
load.
So I hear it all the time. I'm tired. So Brenda, could that be one of the symptoms of having a toxic overload?
It's one of the main symptoms. You got that right. Yes, Beth, it is a main symptom of it. The first thing that people generally start feeling is being tired, not having enough energy, and brain fog,
Hmm.
like they can't think clearly. And that's a sign that you're beginning or are out of balance and have too many toxins. And back to the thing you were talking about earlier, and if people do want to test and learn if they're toxic, they can go to laboratories and have, hair analysis for heavy metals and urine analysis and blood and liver. They can do all those things. But for the average person, I was just trying to say they could take a questionnaire. I want to clarify that. There are
Uh-huh.
tests that we use that can be done, especially heavy metals hair analysis.
Right. And then the question comes up, what can we do? What can the average person do to detox? You mentioned some things in your book. You talk about baths and soaks, for example. I mean, something simple like
Mhm.
that. Can that really pull toxins out of
Oh
you?
yes. First of all, in your home, if before you go to your body, let me just say, in the home, installing your air filters, water filters, ditching your your toxic household cleaners and using vinegars and things like that to clean
Hmm.
is really important. I want people to know that putting plants in the home and all of that, that's really really important. In your body, one of the most important things, like taking salt baths and getting the water really hot, and that'll pull a lot of toxins out of the skin. And that's an excellent way. People don't realize that, but that's a really good way to detox.
Now, how long should you be in the bath?
A minimum of 20 minutes.
Uh-huh. And how many cups of salt would you say?
I usually use 1 to 2 cups of the salt.
Of sea salt?
Yeah,
Sea
yeah.
salt as
And
opposed to Epsom salts, or a combination, or?
I would do a combination.
Hmm.
I do a combination of them, and adding some essential oils to it's not going to bother them either, like some lavender, but real essential oils, not the kind that's got any type of chemical. They've got to make sure they're the real deal.
Right. It has to say 100% organic
Yeah,
would be great too.
yeah,
Essential oils. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. And so people are scared of the word detoxification. I know, can you assuage their fears? Like what can they expect?
Well, if they are doing something, if they're taking an herbal program for a liver detox or a total body detox, most of the programs out there on the market are very in the health food stores are very well marked. There's a lot of information around them. You have to be very careful out there. I'm just telling people in general in getting caught up in the whole media craze, cleansing, diet type stuff. I'm not talking about that.
Hmm.
There's a lot of I guess you could say hype around the 3-day detox, the 7-day detox. I'm more about taking a program for maybe 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks, with taking the salt baths, like I said, or doing sauna during
Hmm.
that period of time, or sweating, and actually taking a total body formula for detox, and to expect most of the time, if they take an herbal program, I'm going to do away with their fear that it's going to cleanse and they're going to like have to sit by the bathroom every day, because that shouldn't be the way it is. Most of the programs out there today, if you increase your water intake, you eat lots of fruits and vegetables, it's not a fasting program. So you take an herbal formula, and they're all targeted. You could do liver, you could do total body. There's a lot of different formulas out there. Usually if you try your health food store, they have a most credible product versus some of the stuff I see on the internet is just really it's just hype, you know.
And if people want to read your book, it's called The Detox Strategy. What's the best place to reach to get the book and to look at your website?
My website's brendawatson.com, and from there you can go to get the book, or you can get the book on Amazon too. But my website, brendawatson.com, has a lot of information on it. I'm very much involved with people, Beth. I've always been really sort of in the trenches with people's health. I worked in a clinic and had clinics of my own for almost 12 years. So I sort of got off my background. I'm from Florida, and I started out in the alternative movement back in the late 80s. So I was sort of on the forefront of detox and detoxification and cleansing with colonics and things like that with medical doctors as they were learning alternative medicine back in the early 90s. So I worked clinically for years.
I know you're on the forefront of the fiber issue because you recommend a lot of fiber in your diet, and that's just sort of becoming popular now. That we're,
the baby boomer population that's getting older is now getting colonoscopies, and everybody has diverticulosis. So yes, I mean, people think today that they get enough fiber, and they don't. You know, they do not get enough, and that's why I was doing lectures actually a week, 10 days ago in California, out in Los Angeles, and people were coming up to me going, well, I know I get enough fiber every day, but I've gone to the doctor and I have diverticulosis, or I have hemorrhoids, or I have something like that. And I'm like, then you don't have enough fiber in your diet.
Right.
You know?
And fiber can also help pull out the toxins too. Isn't that true?
Yeah, let me tell you, if you think of fiber two ways, think of your kitchen sponge. You got a kitchen sponge. On one side it's yellow, and then on the other side it's green. The yellow side soaks up, and on the green side, think of it like it's your scrubber or your brush. That's the two components of fiber, soluble and insoluble. It's found in nuts, seeds, fruits, and vegetables. You also take it in supplement form. The yellow side of the sponge, the soaks up, is what you just said. It actually, as it passes through your digestive system, it absorbs the toxins that are in your foods like pesticides, but also your liver is sending toxins in bile, B-I-L-E, that goes from the liver to the gallbladder and is secreted into the digestive system. And part of the way that fiber works is to absorb those toxins that the liver is trying to slough off as it detoxifies you. The number one growing disease today is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and that's because, and people don't drink. So that's because the liver cannot filter the toxins as well as it should, and when the liver is like a conveyor belt. So when the liver slows down, it sort of throws the toxin inside its own cells, surrounds that toxin in fat, and someone develops a fatty liver. But the fiber component is critical, especially if you're doing a detox program. So a program could consist of taking something by mouth, like an herbal formula, doing a sauna, sweating with the baths or sauna if you have that available, drinking plenty of water.
Purified water, make sure, right? Not just tap water, right?
Absolutely, purified water. Also, you could clean up your house at the same time with your household chemicals and all that. And over a period of time, do it slowly. Take it on as you can, but clean up your environment, clean up your body as much as you can. It's not going to get better right now.
That's true. Well, Brenda, unfortunately, we're out of time, but I wanted to thank you so much for offering all your great tips, and brendawatson.com and the Detox Strategy is your book, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And I have a new book coming out and a new PBS show. So just let you know that on probiotics. It's called The Road to Perfect Health.
Oh,
And you can
excellent.
get that on the website.
Great. And probiotics is a really another great topic we can talk about another time.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay.
Okay.